All right, everybody, welcome in. This is another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithmore, and this is one of my friends from the community. This is NoveaStar, and she submitted these games. She's also active streamer and caster. Go check her out on YouTube and on Twitch. She submitted these games not only because she played in them, but because they are starring none other than NaniWa. NaniWa, who is out trying out Stormgate and putting in a few games, trying to climb the ladder. If you are not familiar, NaniWa is a fairly well-known StarCraft 2 pro player who played the Protoss, if I remember correctly, in StarCraft 2. And again, once again, trying out the Stormgate, playing Celestials. A lot of Protoss players are attracted to Celestials because they kind of superficially look similar, even though they don't necessarily play the same. But let's see how NaniWa is adjusting to the new game. We have Fiends out from Novea to start out. She's just going to run around scouting out NaniWa as well to see what exactly is going on there. She does get a prism. Will she get the second one? No, she doesn't. The Argents are able to take care of the Fiends there. But at least she got a little pain for her scouting effort. Able to a little bit of damage down. NaniWa up to 4 Argents here and has an Energizer node instead of doing the let me shoot my own buildings trick. And I should mention that I've been sitting on these replays for a minute, so even though you're going to be seeing them here today, they're about a week and a half old. So it's possible this is a slightly older meta than what you might be seeing on the ladder right now. And again, NaniWa being, I believe, fairly new to the game is maybe not up to date on, all the different plays in the current meta. Might be one reason why he was relying on this Energizer node instead of doing that self power-up maneuver. But here he comes with his 5 Argents, and Novea's got a couple Brutes here. Brutes are okay versus Argents. She cancels her third here, seeing the aggression. That not only saves the third, but also gives her more Luminite to pump out a few extra units as needed, as she does here. She's got a bunch of Gaunts, which will be helpful versus the Argents. And we see that those units are being able to chase the Argents out. One Argent maybe going down there, yeah, and another, yeah, good targeting of the weak Argents. Capture a couple of them. The Brutes doing their tanking business, but as the Brutes go down, now it's Gaunts that are going to go down to Argents, and I think the Argents win out in that battle as more Argents arrive. Another effigy going down, another effigy going down. It's mostly Gaunts here, but she needs more Brutes to be the tanks in front. Able to get another Argent. The Brute goes down. There are some Fiends and Phantoms there. And now the Argents are very weak, and Novea is able to chase the Argents down. Actually doing quite a good job here. She might be able to win this out. Chasing the Argents down with her Gaunts. There is a single Argent that made it back to the base who's fighting with a Brute. But the Gaunts here are in pursuit, trying to chase those weak Argents down. Another Argent rallies in here to the main, but these rallying Argents are not going to get anything done here. We have Stormgate action as well as Argents versus Gaunts here. Novea once again moving her Gaunts forward so that she fights the Argents, doing a great job there. Still not enough Argents. We get some of those weak Argents showing up. This is NaniWa's best chance. Now Novea keeps attacking the Stormgate there, and I don't know if that's the right move. She doesn't look like she'll win it with the remaining time. But I don't think NaniWa has time to get it either. So this is just going to be a failed Stormgate here. And once again, NaniWa being very aggressive with these Argents. I don't think that that's the right move after he's sort of locked out the original push. And he's on pure Argent. And I mentioned this is sort of an older game, but also maybe he's not as familiar with the meta. I think versus Infernal right now, at least in some of the matches I've played, folks like to make Kree. The Kree would be doing really good against these Gaunts right now. And up the ramp she goes. This could be it, because I don't see those Argents necessarily defending against this massive Gaunt. That's an Energizer node there instead of a Judicator node. And yeah, we're watching the end here as these Argents get pulled down. Roots showing up. And we're probably going to get a GG here from NaniWa any second, as we now see Prisms also raining down. And it looks like he had some hotkey issues, but that's a GG from NaniWa. Let's get into game number 2. Alright, we're in it. This is game number 2 between these two. Once again, starring in the red, this is NoveaStar. And opponent often playing the Protoss, but playing the Celestials here. This is NaniWa. Hotkey issues in that last game, but also NaniWa new to the Stormgate meta, so maybe that also played in game number 1, but Novea was able to take that first game off of him. And now we're on Edge of Oblivion. We'll see how this match plays out as well. We've got double arc ship from NaniWa already up to almost, well, 1.5 it looks like base is saturated here. First chamber on the way. And it was a double production opening, Vault and Conclave opening for Novea into a shrine. I'm always watching this imp. She's got 10 on there, which is supposed to be right, but the 10 are not in the right spot. The 10, you're supposed to pull the 2 off the middle. But it's so hard to get your imps doing that properly at the beginning of the game that I've started not even putting 10 on at the beginning. I just put 8 on at the beginning. I don't know if that's right, but I'm not good enough at microing my imps to make them be effective at mining. And I hope at one point that they will fix that mining issue. I mean, it's been in the game the entire game. But since the Celestials don't have to deal with it, they don't have to micro their prisms. Just fix it for the Infernals and the Vanguards, and we'll all be happy. We got another arc ship here. This is an interesting style, though. He's landed an arc ship while he's also summoning an arc ship. Okay, but no, why didn't it make a mine there? I thought it automatically makes a mine. Is there already one here that... Very curious. There was a fiend there, as we saw, and NaniWa pulled his Argents up to get rid of it. Now there is the summoning. Curious. I haven't played the Celestial since the change. I think they summon automatically. I don't think you have to, like, press a button, click a click to make them summon. But for some reason it wasn't summoning right away when the arc ship landed, and maybe that's because there were 2 arc ships there.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
But NaniWa with a slightly different build going into a heavier eco build here is summoning a Guardian Nexus. So I was commenting last game how he maybe wasn't aware of the sort of Kree meta that has emerged versus Infernal. But maybe now he is, and he's going to make some Kree, maybe. What I will say about these games is I'm pretty sure these were ladder matches. So this is not some tournament series. These were just a couple of games played out on the ladder. And they were probably not played immediately consecutive. They may have been. I didn't ask Novea if that was the case. But it's also possible there may have been a day or two between these games. And both of them have adjusted their playing style and meta in that time. We see that the Battle of the Stormgate turned into an actual just battle. And this time NaniWa is getting a little bit better of it, just because I think he showed up with more Argents than he had in the last game when he was battling against Novea, which was more of a rush that he had pushed out with his 5 Argents. In this game he waited until the Stormgate and has only been engaging around the Stormgate. We do get a Faerun out, which is going to put the advantage to Novea here, as the Faerun will be able to heal up some of these units. Kree finally getting here. They're running in the back. They're going to try and jump right on the Faerun, and she's going to have to get microed out, but the Kree get cleaned up. And that was probably enough for Novea to be like, alright, there are Kree on the map. Maybe I don't want to be pushing those Argents all the way in there. What do we see here? 2 Judicators, it looks like, and an Energizer. This is a better setup than I've seen other Celestials do. I see other Celestials go pure Judicator. But with the Energizer node, the Energizer can power up the Judicator nodes once they run out of energy. And I think that might ultimately be better. I haven't tested it myself, so I'm not certain. And NaniWa is really going aggressive on the eco here, going up to, what's this, 4th base here. And summoning the Energizer and Judicator nodes while they're Grace Lights to start. And what do we got coming out from Novea? She hasn't added much in terms of army. So I imagine that means she's been teching a bit. She's got extra production added here, extra production added here. Her tech buildings up here. Anything researching, not at the moment. And she's staying on tier 2. There's her 4th base going down as well. This is a 5th base actually here for NaniWa, so maybe I missed that when I was doing my little count there. Or maybe he just put that down as well. But NaniWa definitely being more aggressive with the eco, and we can see again how the Celestial economy is sort of imbalanced here. That once they get ahead like this, they can really get their supply up really fast. Celestial Eco's a little slower on the per base, but it is way faster overall in the game. And I think this is something that Celestial players are having to deal with right now. They feel that early game they might be kind of weak. But if they can be unharassed past that first Stormgate like we saw NaniWa was, they can get into this position where they're already 50 supply ahead, 7 minutes in. And I think that puts pressure on the Infernal players to try, and Vanguard players for that matter, to try and put damage down on these Celestials before they get to this point. There's just so many Kree here. He's crashing the Kree on the front line, but he has so many Kree. He could have boxed off some and threw some around for a flank. They're fast mobile units, and here they were enough to win the Stormgate here. I would be adding even more Kree. We got a Vile Lurker, which is a great siege unit. That's going to be able to stand behind these units and just put extra damage down and really force Novea to take bad fights, really. We have a rallied Magmadon, it looks like, who doesn't know where he's going. Yeah, it turns around, goes home. Megs, I understand, can be somewhat good against the Kree, but I've tried myself. If you go kind of a pure Mag, you need something else. You need Brutes and Gaunts, I think, maybe, to back up your Magmadons while getting some good stomps. And that's what Novea has here, so maybe she's in a good position. Right here, okay, this could end up being okay for Novea, as she's going to have an alright flanking position here, but nope, the base gets taken out so quickly that NaniWa is able to retreat away from that. After the Magmadon stomps, and now we're seeing that Vile Lurker putting down a couple of its siege follies. Novea pulling back, but actually pulling a little bit closer in supply right now. NaniWa is falling behind only because he's carrying a fairly large bank right now. Probably needs a little bit more production to spend that money efficiently. Or he's maybe getting into the point of the game where he might want a little bit of a bank just to deal with remaxing after a potential battle. Here he is in the battle. We get a lash on one of the Sabers. Once again, the Kree did not try and roll around and get on top of the Gaunts, which is really an effective way to have these kind of battles. The Magmadons then, as a result, were fairly effective on the front line, taking out a ton of those Kree. And in fact, we just saw a battle where it looks like Novea has come out on top, and we get another GG from NaniWa in game number 2. Alright, welcome back. This is game number 3 between these two. Once again, in the blue, playing Infernal, this is NoveaStar. Her opponent, in the red, already having flown his arc ship to the Stormgate and landed it. This is NaniWa. Lifting up. And why do you land there? Maybe to build a prism? But where are you going, old buddy? What are you doing, silly, silly man? We got an Argent running across, but I have a feeling this third base is about to be the natural for NaniWa. Boom. We're going to get a base up. We have Argents out. We have an Energizer node here and a forward creation chamber. Plus this creation chamber is also forward. We have a prism running all the way back home. That's a little bit hard to run, but prisms are speedy little buggers. Look at them. Zippity-doo-dah. Whee! Wish my prisms or my imps were that fast. Oh, I didn't notice there was a base put down here as well. So NaniWa both being aggressive with forward positioning of his buildings, but also on 3 bases. Only 1 arc ship though, which means producing prisms is going to be slow. So the ramping up of the Celestial Eco, which is one of the greatest strengths of Celestial Eco, is not really being fully utilized here. You need extra arc ships to do that. But 2 imps already taken out. Another imp spawns right under the Argents. That means it's going to... Oh, it turns into a farm just in time. Nice control. FG goes down. And the Brute's trying to get the weak Argent, but nice control from NaniWa to pull it back. And more Brutes going down. NaniWa retreats back. That is a Judicator node now. No, it is changing into an Energizer node. I think he just summoned another node. Although, once again, NaniWa is on 3 bases, but is only got the 1 arc ship, so is not saturating them super fast. Doesn't exactly have an abundance of extra energy. Change it to a Gray Slate node. I love this use of the node. Transforming it back, makes another Gray Slate, gets some more healing. Runs in here, tries to snipe a Gaunt, does so. Goes for another one, gets it. And loses an Argent here in the kiting. But tries to get another Brute now.
Stormgate has appeared.
Stormgate's on the map, no one even cares. We're in the middle of an actual battle here at the front gates. And once again, Novea doing a good job of not overcommitting her army into the kiting Argents. Just keeping them back off her base. This base up to 8 prisms, still no extra arc ship. So this is a pure all-in from NaniWa. And once again, it's Gaunts, lots of Gaunts being used because they got that range, but you need the Brutes out front to be doing the tanking. And Novea is just calmly and patiently waiting basically for NaniWa to commit, overcommit possibly. At the moment, she's just sort of moving into the Argus, getting some good kills here. Although losing some Gaunts, there are Judicator nodes in the back that were starting to get some shots off. And weak Gaunts, unfortunately, pulled to the front line. Also getting pulled, or also getting taken out. Novea rushes forward. She loses her Conclave here, which is unfortunate. She does have one in the back. But that's going to reduce her Gaunt production, which is really important in this defense. And unfortunately, as she pushes in now, these are Judicator nodes. And yeah, these Argents are maybe going to give her too much trouble to deal with here. Nice control from NaniWa. Keep pulling back weak Argents. He has a few weak ones in the front. One goes down. So nice target fire from Novea. Argent's fighting gremlins. You don't usually like that. You want them fighting actual units or killing the tribute pyre. Again, another Argent goes down. Another couple weak Argents. Oh, and NaniWa just, or sorry, Novea just trying to stay committed to this attack so that she can kill these Argents. And she's actually going to get it. The Hellborn in the back doing his job. I thought that was a Brute. I don't know why my eyes cannot see it. Brutes do not throw fireballs. They punch with their knife. But that one Hellborn in the back doing so much important work, allowing the Gaunts to actually be tanks for a moment as they run to the front line there. There is this Judicator node, but it is low on power. And that means it doesn't get to fire. It gets taken out as the second Hellborn arrives. Way to go, Novea, with an amazing clutch defense here. I didn't think she was going to be able to pull it off there, but as the Hellborn popped out, that's exactly what you need in these kind of Celestial contains. Even for, I believe, Vanguard contains with bunkers. If you can get the Hellborns out, then you're starting to be in a position where you can defend. And that will be GG from NaniWa in game number 3.